And you've built some workflows that people can use to enhance that. What are they?
Yeah. So one thing I've realized is that for product managers and people who, they have a few things that have to be right and they have to really be able to rely on to be right. One of the biggest areas that people are just really concerned about is using AI to do data analysis. Because on one hand, it should be really good at that, right? Like it can run code and you see it do all this other type of code stuff. But for data analysis, you really need the result to be correct. And I think it's an area where if you're not a data analyst and you don't really know exactly how the LLM is coming up with its results, then you're going to be relying on these. You're going to be presenting these to people. You're going to be showing your boss this data. Where does that data actually come from and how is it calculated is a major area where people just do not trust AI. But it turns out they're actually, like the other things we've been talking about, this is a weakness, but there is a sort of a tool or workflow that we can use to give Claude Code we can get much more visibility in the Claude Code's process so that we can trust its results more.
Hmm.
And so the best way to do this is something I've kind of been playing around with more over the last few months is Jupyter Notebooks. So this is the kind of like standard artifact that analysts will use. And it's actually a really good thing to use within Claude Code. And the very cool thing is that we can basically create a Jupyter Notebook, which is just, it shows what were the exact queries used for this, what were the results, and it can visualize that all for you. And the really cool thing about Jupyter Notebooks is that a Jupyter file will render natively in Cursor or VS Code. So you can actually just stay in the tool without having to look at it somewhere else. And it's honestly one of the like nicest types of things that you can have be displayed here, like right in your terminal or your IDE. So here what we have is we have in our data folder here, we have survey responses. So we have 213 survey responses from all different types of people in this sort of like fictional company around how they're using this to-do tool. And so what we're going to say is, please analyze this data in a Jupyter notebook and show me what we're working with. So just to start, you can, and this is kind of like a very small, quick example of how can you work with data in Claude Code. And so here it's going to go ahead and it's going to look at this and it will just kind of show us what we're working with. It's pretty hard to see CSVs. There are some extensions that make it easier to see, but they're not great. So it's kind of nice to just have Claude Code like show you what you're working with. And right off the bat, we see this new file was created, this Jupyter notebook, and it's just showing us a very simple, it's actually still working here.
Showing
So this is the code.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's running Python. And then what it will do is it looks like it has to install a few things to make this like actually render. But what we'll see is we'll see like an actual UI example of what this code is running for us. So we see that it's kind of just getting the columns and data, and it will present that to us. We're seeing Claude do some live debugging here.
Yeah. If you ever go look over your data scientist shoulder, they live in Jupyter Notebooks. And so how do we add proof of work to our analysis? That's really what we want to do. We want to create traceable analysis. The Jupyter Notebook is solving that problem for you.
Exactly. And yeah, so now we see that there's this notebook. It just got the columns. It's showing us like what is the overall shape. So it has this many rows with this many columns. And here's an example of what some of those look like. So what we're kind of just seeing here is what is a Jupyter? How does it work? It's the code. It's kind of like some example output, and then it's rendering that nicely for us. But of course, you can do much more sophisticated things. You can, and it's honestly amazing that once you get more familiar with the types of data questions that Claude can answer, it's like you're working with a data analyst that will just answer any questions you want about your data. It will segment it in any way. You can do pretty sophisticated statistical types of analyses, all types of things that if you're working at a company, getting access to an analyst's time to ask questions that sometimes you're not even sure like exactly what you want to learn or you're hoping to learn, or if it would be worth it to do an analysis. That used to be something to have your whole process. You probably don't have that many analysts at your company. Long time for them to look at it, and you have to get it on their own research or data roadmap. Now you can just do a lot of that exploration right here on your own, and you can actually trust results. So for the next thing, what we'll ask here is just show me the distribution of enterprise interest scores as a chart.
Here's the dirty secret about prototyping. You spend 2 weeks building a prototype, you validate your assumptions. Engineering loves the direction. Then what happens? You throw the whole thing away. Bolt changes this completely. When you prototype in Bolt, you're not building throwaway mockup. You're building real front-end code that integrates with your existing design system. So when you hand it to engineering, they don't throw it away. They ship on top of what you've built. I use Bolt every single day. I host my land PM job cohort on it. And honestly, I'm up till 2 a.m. some days just vibing in the tool, having fun, and building. That's when you know a product is good. When you're using it past midnight, not because you need to, but because you want to. Check out Bolt at bolt.new/Akash. That's bolt.new/AAKASH. Link in the show notes. Today's episode is brought to you by Amplitude. Replays of mobile user engagement are critical to building better products and experiences. But many session replay tools don't capture the full picture. Some tools take screenshots every second, leading to choppy replays and high storage costs from enormous capture sizes. Others use wireframes, but key moments go missing, creating gaps in your understanding. Neither approach gives you a truly mobile experience. Amplitude does things differently. Their mobile replays capture the full experience. Every tap, every scroll, and every gesture, with no lag and no performance hit. It's the most accurate way to understand mobile behavior. See the full story with Amplitude. I hope you enjoyed that short clip. You can check out the full episode here.